Hi everyone, Colin Hall, BizPlans UK. On a glorious Surrey Sunday, only slightly marred by debilitating hay fever, so I will try not to sneeze at you during this video. Now, we've just had the local elections in the UK, so I thought now would be a good time to look at the political landscape. If you recall the pest analysis I introduced recently with Peers for Politics, and see whether or not those results mean anything for small businesses in the UK. And the short answer is not very much, because they didn't really tell us anything we didn't already know, which is that Labour's went ahead in the polls and that they are likely to form the next government in 8 months or less when the general election takes place. So from a small business perspective, what is the likely impact of a Labour win going to have on businesses? Now, this is quite a long topic, so I'll do a little short summary here for LinkedIn, and then if you want the full analysis, carry on watching on YouTube. So the short answer is it's not going to mean very much. The Labour Party's made a big effort to try and regain or have a reputation for economic competence, and that means they're not doing anything stupid with the economy. As a result, they're not doing anything major policy-wise that's a major deviation from the Conservatives. Yes, there'll be change of tone, change of priorities, but really, for a business perspective, there won't be very much. The only areas really to look at, potentially, are in the health service, with some commitments to pay doctors and nurses more, and also to improve outcomes in the NHS. They all require money, and if you serve the NHS, that may mean either less money for you, or if you're substantially more efficient than the NHS, more business. In employment law, there are mutterings of bringing employment rights that are not available until you've been working for 2 years from the day you start work. I doubt that will actually come to pass, because you'll end up with Spanish-style youth unemployment, and I'm sure wiser heads in the Labour Party and the civil service will come to bear to water that down. And apart from that, there's not much, certainly not from current policies. So, as and when the election is announced and manifestos are published, I'll do this again with some more detail. But for now, if you're on LinkedIn, so long, and if you want some more detail, go to YouTube and watch the rest of the video. So if you're still watching this, then you're watching it on YouTube, and let's dive a bit deeper into some of the issues. So, first of all, Keir Starmer is a very pragmatic politician. Whether you like him, dislike him, he is very pragmatic. He's already shown that multiple times when he's been willing to ditch policies that are either no longer politically convenient or which will be too expensive. You only have to look at the recent dropping of the £28 billion fund for the environment to see that. Also, he's likely to have a very big majority unless something very drastic goes wrong. And with big majorities, you don't have to pander to the more vocal extreme wings of your party, whether you're left or right wing. And as a result, he doesn't have to accommodate slightly loonier policies or ones that might be damaging to the economy. And that's the reason why I think that we will not see major changes. We won't know for sure until the first budget, and there may be small tweaks here and there, but for various reasons, the UK economy, both structurally, as a result of the pandemic, the Ukraine war, and unfortunately policies from the Conservative government, is not in the best state. And as a result, there's not a lot Labour can do, unless they start being radical, which, as I've said, is unlikely. The area of most concern to me is that they will introduce employment protections for staff from day one, as opposed to after 2 years. And the most likely outcome of that is that people stop hiring. And that will stifle growth and lead to high youth unemployment, as we've seen in places like Spain. I think wiser heads will prevail, both within the Labour Party and the civil service, to water that down or get rid of it completely. We've already seen a watering down of their environmental policies, and I expect to see more of that. And in a future video, I'll go into more detail about what's happening environmentally and what that means for small businesses. The only other area where I think there might be a change is the NHS, with some more money going in, but not as much as they will claim, and they'll have to find savings from elsewhere. So if you're a supplier to the NHS, you may either see a greater business because they need to find cheap alternatives, or they may squeeze you on rates in order to try and get better money. The only other area maybe where there'll be some changes is to do with the property market, which has been a mess for decades. At the moment, everybody seems to be beating up landlords, which to me is counterproductive, because they'll just leave the sector. There'll even be less people renting and the prices will skyrocket. But we'll see what happens in that area. So really, not much will change except in a few specific areas, at least not for businesses. Individuals, different matter, and not an area I'm going to get into. So that's it for now. Take care. See you soon.